A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a dramatic escalation of his ongoing battle with media outlets, former President Donald Trump has filed a substantial lawsuit against the BBC, seeking a staggering $10 billion in damages. The lawsuit, filed in a Miami federal court, accuses the British broadcaster of defamation and unfair trade practices, stemming from a controversial documentary that aired just before the 2024 U.S. presidential election. The 33-page legal document claims that the BBC's portrayal of Trump in its documentary, titled Trump, A Second Chance, was not only misleading but also a blatant attempt to interfere with the electoral process. The crux of the lawsuit revolves around the editing of a speech Trump delivered on January 6, 2021, the very day that his supporters stormed the Capitol in a bid to overturn the election results. The BBC is accused of splicing together different segments of this speech to create a false narrative that Trump incited violence, while omitting critical parts where he urged his supporters to protest peacefully. Trump's legal team asserts that the BBC's actions have caused him significant reputational harm and financial loss. In a statement, Trump emphasized that the edits misrepresented his words, saying, "They actually put terrible words in my mouth having to do with January 6th that I didn't say." This claim has sparked a fierce debate about media responsibility and the implications of editing in journalism. The BBC, which operates under a charter that mandates impartiality, has responded to Trump's allegations by acknowledging an error of judgment in its editing practices. The broadcaster issued an apology to Trump last month, admitting that the edited footage could lead viewers to mistakenly believe he was calling for violent action. However, it has firmly rejected the notion that it defamed the former president, stating that there is no legal basis for the lawsuit. This lawsuit comes at a time when the BBC is already facing intense scrutiny over its editorial decisions. The fallout from the documentary has led to the resignations of key executives, including the BBC's Director General and the head of news, highlighting the internal crisis the organization is currently navigating. Chairman Samir Shah has publicly expressed regret over the incident, but the BBC maintains that it has not acted with malice or intent to deceive. Legal experts have pointed out the challenges Trump may face in pursuing this case in the U.S. courts, especially since the documentary was not broadcast in the United States. Defamation laws differ significantly between the U.S. and the U.K., with the latter requiring claims to be filed within a year of publication. Trump's decision to file in Florida suggests a strategic move to bypass these limitations, though it also raises questions about the legal viability of his claims. Moreover, Trump's lawsuit alleges that the BBC violated Florida's laws against deceptive and unfair trade practices, seeking $5 billion for each of the two counts listed in the suit. Critics of Trump's legal approach argue that proving defamation in the U.S. will be difficult, as he must demonstrate that the BBC acted with actual malice or reckless disregard for the truth. Despite the BBC's apology, Trump's legal team argues that the broadcaster has not shown genuine remorse or taken adequate steps to prevent similar issues in the future. This assertion could fuel further legal battles, as both sides prepare for what promises to be a contentious court fight. The implications of this lawsuit extend beyond Trump and the BBC, as it raises broader questions about media ethics, the responsibilities of public broadcasters, and the delicate balance between free speech and accountability in journalism. As the case unfolds, it is likely to attract significant media attention and public debate, particularly in the context of the upcoming presidential election. In the larger narrative of Trump's relationship with the media, this lawsuit represents another chapter in his ongoing crusade against what he perceives as unfair treatment by news organizations. Throughout his presidency and beyond, Trump has frequently labeled mainstream media as fake news, and this latest legal action is a continuation of that theme. As the legal proceedings progress, the eyes of the nation will be on both Trump and the BBC, as they navigate the complexities of defamation law and the ever-evolving landscape of media relations in a politically charged environment. The outcome could have lasting implications not only for Trump, but also for how media organizations operate and are held accountable in the future. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.